All right,
What
here we go.
up?
Welcome everybody to the On the Level podcast. I'm Hercules Ham here with.
There's Memoji.
Miracle worker.
All right, and we're here today to talk about what our top 5 favorite games of all time are.
Oof. Tough one.
So here's the thing, gentlemen. Are we going to start at 5 and work our way up to the number 1, or are we going to start at 1 and just go all the way down to 5?
Yo, so mine, I just can't have an order. I was telling
Yeah,
Devs, I was like, it's so hard to rank them. It really is. There's so
yeah,
many great games out there, so many great series. It's just like, how do you rank them? What are we going off of?
yeah, yeah. And like I was telling him, you know, what some of our games can, like conflict with each other and stuff like that. So we can, there's gonna be times where we have the same games in that list. So
Absolutely.
that's when we can discuss that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I
How
hear
how
you.
are you how are you ranking it? That's the real question. How are you
I'm just going off of 5, my top 5 games of all time. Hey, this is
all
my
times?
5th
Okay.
one. Yeah, because I'm not trying
Okay.
to go genre or anything like that. Because then it wouldn't be a 30-minute
Yeah,
podcast. It would just be a whole all day type of podcast. Because I could go in for days.
oh
Best
yeah,
FPS,
yeah,
best
man.
RPG.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's
I feel that.
let's start with Sackett over here, Mr. Miracle Worker. Go ahead and tell us what one of
Just
your games is. Go ahead.
what one of my games is. So this is the oddball. Um, SS Tricky 3. I got to go with 3 because it was more of that open world feel. Had that customization with yo, I played as Mac. That was my man. So get him on the board, get him on the skis. Just great customization all around. It was open world. It took a game I loved on the PS2 and just made it that much better going forward. Um,
Yeah. No, that was definitely a fun game. Especially, uh, yeah. For me, I gotta say, so everyone loved the Tony Hawk Underground series, right?
Yeah.
okay,
Me personally, I was a big fan of the American Wasteland series. I
America
remember when
Wasteland was good.
yeah, I
That was
definitely,
good.
me growing up, I had a whole, like, especially when you got to the LA beach area, I had a whole bunch of trouble going with that. But I can remember countless, like I remember spending like maybe 2 years just fucking doing the whole thing. It was just great.
Yeah, yo,
I
I
just loved American Wasteland.
facts. I can't remember what mission it was, but like you had to pull a rope or something, and you just like had to mash X. It was the hardest thing ever. It's all I can
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
That's a
Okay.
good one.
How
Okay.
about
American
you?
Wasteland, tricky. I like it. I like it. I mean, mine has been around for a hot minute. I'm pretty sure y'all heard of Counter Strike, right?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, younger me, when we first got our computer, our first game we really downloaded was Counter Strike Source or Counter Strike 2.2 or something like that. But yeah, that was just the first game that I really got into on a PC and just went from there. And now we got Counter Strike Global Offensive. So yeah,
Yeah.
number
Okay, I like
five,
that
All
one.
right.
number 5 for me.
I like that. Um, those are good top fives, and they could really range anywhere. Cause I didn't even think of
Yeah, they
Wasteland.
could.
I didn't even think of America Wasteland, but that one's tough. It's a good one for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
a lot of people look at Underground before they look at Wasteland because I know, I
yeah,
think Wasteland had what, like a 4 or 5 out of 10 or something like that
yeah.
compared to the other ones.
I'm pretty sure Wasteland you could ride around on a bike too, couldn't you?
Uh,
I
I
think
don't. I
so.
mean, I think you could. I think you
There
could.
there
Yeah,
was one where you could. I can't remember if that was Wasteland or not.
yeah. Oh, now that I think about it, one could also have like half of that 5 for me could also go to Skate 2. Skate 2 was a great skateboarding game.
Okay.
Yeah, I really want them to come out with the third one for this next gen.
Yeah,
So
I could see that. I could see that. Dang, let me go look at this list.
Oh, man, he came prepared
Hey,
with notes.
I made a top
No,
10.
you
Like,
can't-
Why'd you
he
make a top 10 when it's supposed to be a top
because
5?
he came out with some heat. So like now I'm trying to like think. All right, you know what?
Oh,
Screw it. I'm gonna go with my number 4, Sims 2 Pets. Bro, I promise. It
Okay.
was different. It was
Okay.
different. It was different for what it was. Like you could get your dogs, you could get your cats. Like for me, I personally liked it. I'm a huge Sims nerd. I remember, PCs coming up, and we'd get like the Sims City, and that's what I played. And then they went to Sims 1 and Sims 2, and then on the PlayStation Sims 2 Pets, etc. But I think that game was all around a banger for me. I loved it.
Okay.
Okay.
You and a lot of females love that game. I like it.
Hey, what's up? What's up? I'm single.
In Sims or in real life, we don't know.
Hey, shit. They can find out.
So number 4 for me definitely is gonna have to be the Sonic Adventure series. Sonic, yeah, because I remember, it's one of those games. Well, at this point, from now until like for my number 1, I can those games. Oh man, those games I can constantly play them, without having to worry, like without getting bored, I should say.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Were those like collector type games? I've never played. The only Sonic game I played was Sonic Heroes on the GameCube. But that was like back in the day when you could go up to McDonald's and they'd have like the play pin or whatever, and you had the GameCube. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Got you on
Was
that.
Sonic
No,
Adventures like that or not?
So it was kind of like that because you had to do a whole bunch of other stuff. Like you had to collect, like for instance, this had like a little I want to say like Pokemon kind of effect because you collect
Okay.
these eggs, little childs would come about and stuff like that, and you have to raise them and stuff. Um, and then throughout the levels, you would destroy the enemies like robots and whatnot, and like they would pop up little animals that you can feed to the little pets, and then like you can make them fly. Like it's like different stats you upgrade depending on the animal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. I think for my 4th one, what I got down right here is God of War. And it's not like God of War 1 or
Ooh.
Ghost of Sparta or anything like that. So I'm talking about the PlayStation 4 version that was released because the older games, those were a lot of fun, lots of collectibles and stuff like that. But I think God of War 4 just really hit it on the head. It's a new series. It takes Kratos from the Greek mythology and moves him to the Nordic mythology. Amazing story on top of that. Plus, I'm a huge nerd when it comes to like Nordic mythology and Greek mythology. So I just absolutely love the story. The gameplay was amazing. They really
For
upgraded
sure.
everything. Yeah. And so that's my number 4 is God of War.
I can respect
So
that.
we not messing around anymore. That's what it is.
We're moving
That's
up,
what
man.
it
We're moving
is.
up. What can I say?
That's what he said. He said we're not playing games.
Not playing no games.
All right, so now we're at number 3.
Alright.
Stack, Mr. Stack, go ahead.
Number 3. Yo, this is so hard. I'm gonna throw in something a little old school, but something that is dear to all of us more than likely. Modern Warfare 2.
Ooh.
And all I gotta say to that is you got off school, you hopped online, and you were playing Rust or Terminal all night.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
Oh,
And
That's what it was.
let me share with you, gentlemen, a funny story about what happened to me. All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Modern Warfare 2 just came out. I was really wanting this game, but the parents were like, "Nah, you can't have the game. It's rated M." Blah 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 blah. This was
For
when,
good reason.
yeah, it's a good reason. But this was when they were starting these kiosks of video games, right? So my little self was like, you know what? I know my dad's PIN. I'm just gonna swipe his card. He won't know about it. So I take his card. I run up to the 7-Eleven up the street where they had this kiosk. Swipe it. Get Modern Warfare 2. Boom. Start playing it. Absolutely loved it. My old man found out, sadly, but At least I got Modern Warfare 2. He couldn't return it because it was a kiosk, so you can't really be like, "Hey, kiosk, I want to return this game."
Right.
Can't do that. So
It's
I got
all about
Modern
the
Warfare
memories,
2. Oh yeah, absolutely love that game.
That is
Hands down.
literally hilarious.
Yeah, hands down. That's it's a good pick. It's a good pick. Not my
No,
pick, but it's a good pick.
Well, I mean, like, one of my favorite shooters of all time, like, maybe like Warzone can compete with it, but not right now. Just with not really all the bugs, but like how unfair certain guns are within the game. But Modern Warfare 2 definitely for number 3. Spent countless hours on it.
I like it. I like it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna stop messing around. My number 3 is gonna be Kingdom Hearts. That's all I'm gonna say.
Whoa. The
Here-
first one? Well, hold on. Me and you, we know each other very well. You gotta
we know this. Yeah. So, all right. So for number 3, it's gonna definitely have to be Kingdom Hearts 2. But when I said Kingdom Hearts, I meant that as a series. As a series, because for example, Kingdom Hearts 3. You know how I feel about that game. You know exactly how I feel about the game.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
How do you feel? Let everybody know. How do you feel?
I was disappointed by Kingdom Hearts 3. Because of the fact, like, we're looking at all these other Kingdom Hearts games that came before. It was a big hype train. It was like, what, I want to say like 10, 12 years almost of a Kingdom Hearts game, Kingdom Hearts number series coming out.
That's like,
and, they're hyping it up. Like 15?
It was somewhere around 13, 14, 15 years. I think it was 2005 is when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. But don't quote me. This is a good podcast.
That sounds reasonable. 2005.
No, because I think Kingdom Hearts 3 was technically supposed to come out after what was going to be Versus 13, right?
Yeah, because the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 was like 2011, I think. So it was 6 years after the release of Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah. So it was about, it's about that long. But, I wanted to see what they were going to do after Kingdom Hearts 2. Because me personally, Kingdom Hearts 2 is my favorite Kingdom Hearts. Behind Kingdom Hearts 1. Because I personally like 1's combat. 2 was flashy, you know what I'm saying? But I like the story in 2 because what 3 was missing for me was the fact that if you go back to Kingdom Hearts 2, there was that halfway point where it's like, okay, you start off the game, something's going on mid game and everything, and then you get to the medium of the game, and like, you go through all these worlds and whatnot, and after you do that, you see that I forgot exactly what happened. There's a conflict in between, and then you have to go back into the worlds, either fight new Heartless bosses, nobodies, or you fight Organization 13 members, and then you get to the end of the game. But it was just, that was missing for me in Kingdom Hearts 3, because it was just like a straightforward thing, and then like, I don't know, it just felt so rushed at the end.
But at 3 though, you're gonna place it at the 3 spot.
I got two more.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, fair enough.
I was gonna place it at 2, but then I thought about 2 other ones, and I was like, we can hold off a little bit.
Okay. I like it. Well, for my number 3, this is a game that just recently came out last year. Not last year. I think it was the year before that. Don't quote me on that. But Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima for the PlayStation 4. Hey, look at that. Perfect timing. Ghost of Tsushima for the PlayStation 4. I absolutely loved it. Very good combat scheme. Very good story. It was a nice little history lesson too. The collectibles you got talked about the Japanese culture back in the days, and then the Mongolian culture back in the days as well. And then they just released their DLC called Ghost of Tsushima Legends mode, where it's kind of like Destiny 2, where you play missions or you play survival, and you get really good gear, and that will basically upgrade your character and make his is it Chi? I think it's Chi or Kai, whatever it is. It upgrades that, and that's basically where you're at. And I found that super fun. Put a bunch of hours into the game. Still putting a bunch of hours into the game since the DLC came out. Absolutely loved it.
Mm.
None of y'all play Ghost of Tsushima?
So I've
No,
never played
I
it.
played it.
I've watched a few friends play it. Not gonna say where they played it, but I think we all know us three. But all I could see was them facing bosses like 20, 30 times because they could not win. And
Yeah, that's
I,
how it is. Was this
I
in the
just-
Legends game mode, if I may ask?
I'm not sure. I have no clue. This was his first run through, but he just kept getting destroyed, and I was literally like watching him, like, bro, like, are you good? Like, upgrade your character because you are not making dents.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it happens, man. It happens. Yeah. All right, so we're moving on to number 2.
Oof.
Number 2.
All right. I'm just going to get my number 2 out the way.
Oh
Okay.
man, this
Okay.
guy.
It's gonna be
He
I,
has
no,
no
no,
I
no,
like
no,
that.
no,
I like that.
Yeah,
This
I'm
better
just
be
saying.
good, man.
My
This better
number
be
2,
good.
Destiny 2.
Oh,
What? What?
I literally.
You know what? All right.
No,
This
it's
isn't a
okay. It's not
competition. It's your top 5 games of all time. Now, why is it
All right.
your top 5?
Okay. So it's not just Destiny 2. I like that. It's the whole Destiny series. You know, growing up, I played a lot of Halo and whatnot, and then when I seen that Bungie was leaving, and you know they were coming out with a new IP and stuff. Destiny came out, and I remember I was just fresh out of high school when it came out because it came out in late 2014, and it was like one of those games where I started playing it, and then it was one of those. It was one of those games like Borderlands. You know how it's like you can play with friends and whatnot. Um, but it's just there's an experience there where you're either doing the PvP, you're just walking around helping other people, you're doing raids, you're doing strikes and whatnot. I've actually met a lot of good friends coming from Destiny, and playing every game and whatnot, every other game. But Destiny still holds a place in my heart because of all the friends and stuff that I've made throughout the past. Plus the amount of money I spent on Destiny. I want to say I spent like over $300 just between the first and second one.
Wow, man, this guy.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen. Right before we started this, I was literally just playing it. That's how bad my addiction is with that game. Like I try to put it down and then I pick it right back up like it's nothing.
So
Yeah,
is Bungie paying you to
pretty
say
bad.
this?
I wish. I wish. I wish.
That's the real question. Are they? Come on.
Yeah, we gotta know.
wish.
We gotta know.
Because the thing is,
I mean,
is that like that's all he plays.
Oh, trust me, I know. Every time I
It's-
hop on, it's just Destiny 2.
It's a decent game. Don't get me wrong. I hop on with him from time to time, but we could be playing something better. That's all I gotta say.
No, we could.
Yikes.
Like I said, listen, we could be playing something better. You know what I'm saying? But it's just I don't know what type of hold that game has on. I just don't know. But yeah,
For
that's my
sure,
number
for
2.
sure.
I like it. It's a good FPS. Can't really complain. Simple story, I'll say. I wouldn't say simple, but it's a good story.
It's about the lore. It's not the story is not all there. It's more like the lore.
The lore is pretty cool. I like how they added the what are they challenge or trophy the more like in-game trophy system challenges.
Yeah.
I think that's always fun to try to go reach for one of those. All the challenges and the raids, etc. I think those are pretty
Yeah.
cool. But shoot, number 2, that's tough.
Yeah,
This is your game. This isn't what the world
That
says.
is
It's yours.
that is so tough. So for my number 2, just something that I off the wall loved, Borderlands 2. You could honestly throw the whole series in there, because I think they transition very well. I really do. But Borderlands 2 was just amazing. DLC after DLC, they came out with like straight bangers. I remember Tiny Tina. That was like That was like my
Oh
first.
yeah, the
That was
Tiny
like
Tina.
that,
Yeah.
that was like my first hint of like D&D, and I loved it. And then I was like, "Yo, who's trying to play this? Like, it's based off of D&D. Like, can we get a session
Yeah.
going?" And finally, my brother was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm a huge D&D nerd," and so I started playing with him. Ed, you even played with us one time.
Yeah. No, I did.
But that game is just so amazing. I remember me and my brother used to play that hours on end, and it'd be like, we're not the best because we modded our guns, but listen, it was fun for what it was, because it was like, yo, let's just mod our guns, see what we can get out of it. We came up with some pretty cool stuff, so I liked that a lot.
Nice, very nice, very nice. I do enjoy Borderlands. I haven't even beaten Borderlands 2, but from what I've played so far, all I can say is that I am a gambling addict in Borderlands 2. I have not left Moxie's bar. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad, and I'm from Vegas too.
I'm gonna
I
tell you
should-
right now. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Moxie, she's not giving you any sugar. I promise you.
She already gave me that gun because I was like, I'm gonna donate all my money and then I'm gonna go gamble.
That's about it. That's about it,
Yeah,
though.
but that's she's only giving me the gun and that's it. So, shoot, man. So
No,
we're on number
but-
2.
But that is a great system too. Number 2.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Borderlands 2 at number 2. I like it. So my second video game of all time, huge throwback to 1999 or 2000, was Final Fantasy 9.
Ooh.
It
That's a good one.
it was a huge, it could be Final Fantasy 10 or it could be Final Fantasy 9. Absolutely love Final Fantasy 10, but I have to give it to Final Fantasy 9. Very good RPG. The way that you level up your characters, they get the ability points, whatever they have equipped, that is basically what they can master on that equipment. The characters are all unique and they're very memorable. And I think the biggest thing that I got out of Final Fantasy 9 was that you have Zidane and then you have Vivi. Vivi doesn't know whether or not he should exist, but he does. And now he has to figure out why. Then you have Zidane, where he doesn't know if he should exist, so he has to find his purpose. So those are basically like the two biggest characters that I love out of Final Fantasy IX. And then the story on top of that is just unique in its own way. And that's why I love Final Fantasy IX.
Okay.
For sure, that's a good one. I like, honestly, all Final Fantasy games. I'm literally, you can't see it right now, but I have 14 on.
Okay.
Just figured I'd re-download it. I played it a while back, but thought I'd get back into it. But it's a great game. It is free. It's free. Granted, I bought it, so
you got the royal.
Just get a
this guy.
But you get the royal edition for free on PS5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if you want to get the royal edition,
I already bought it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I already wasted my money.
Yeah, he wanted the suit.
No, but they're great games. They really are. The customization, you can't really beat it.
Yeah.
Even adding in like magic stuff like that, I think that's really cool. Definitely a good number 2.
All right, number 1. Here we go. You know what? We're gonna start with Devs again. We're gonna start with not to skip over you or anything.
No, that's fine. So I have 2 for the number 1 spot.
Oh,
because
I feel like I know what this is. I know what one of them is.
He's just breaking all the rules, man. First
I'm breaking the rules. I'm breaking all the rules, but I do have 2, and the reason why those 2 are like a place in my heart is because those are the best games that I can play over and over and not get bored. Okay. So the first part of that is going to be the new Insomniac Spider-Man games.
Okay.
They blew the reason for that is because no one expected. I personally didn't expect it from Insomniac when they came out with the Spider-Man game, especially with the first one and Miles Morales coming out late last year. I was just blown away. Like, you know, they made Spiral, Ratchet and Clank, and whatnot, and then for them to come out and just, you know, bust through the window and come out with a Spider-Man game just like that. I like when I tell you that's like the one game I spent 3 days without sleep just platinum that game, just consecutively. Um, the second game, I have to give it to Persona 5.
I knew he was going to say Persona. I was waiting for it in your list.
No, so that's what made it hard because I wanted to put it at number 2, but I ended up putting Destiny number 2. But Persona 5, especially the Royale edition that they just came out with last year, like it, I find it as a unique RPG that I personally can sit there. I've played that game like 5-6 times already, you know, and you know that game gives you the option to do different choices and whatnot and change the outcome of some of the things that you do. You know, there's like 4 or 5. I think it's like 4 or 5 different endings that you can get from the game. Especially with the Royale, there's specific things that you got to do to continue the game after the whole story concludes. But for me, and it's a unique RPG compared to. Don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy is a wonderful RPG. But for me, like, you know, after like every game coming out is always, you know, I feel like the combat system's always the same. But then when Persona 5 came out, it was just like it's still turn based, but at the same time, it had like its uniqueness to it. So that's my number 1.
Okay, I never played Persona, even though it is free on the PlayStation 5. I
haven't played it either.
So that one with Royale Persona 5 Royale being out, I won't recommend playing the original 5. I would say get Royale before you play 5.
Okay.
Royale. Okay. I like it. All right, Sackett. Number 1, your favorite game. Here we go.
Yo, so this is hard. This is hard. Part of me, like I said, I made a top 10, and these games can literally vary based on honestly my mood. You know, part of me really just wants to like be cliche and be like, yo, Minecraft is my number 1. Like, send it. But I'm not gonna do that.
Instead, it's Fortnite, right? Fortnite.
No, it definitely not Fortnite. I'll watch him. Yeah, you're good. No, so my number 1 is gonna be Fallout New Vegas. To me, it was just something so different. That was probably the first game I got for my Xbox 360, and to me, it was just so different. And my mom was like totally against me getting the game, like you said earlier, rated M. Well, let's just say that I literally blew off somebody's head when my mom walked in, and she flipped out. So it was definitely so funny though. The like critical kills where it goes slow motion. I loved it. Can't get better than it. But just the story in the story in general was amazing for me.
Okay. I'm surprised nobody mentioned Skyrim.
So
Skyrim.
We talked about it.
It's in the top 10. Yeah, it's in the top 10.
Yeah. If it was a top 10, then it would have been, you know, Skyrim would have been somewhere in there. Yeah. Yes. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. Would be.
Okay. Fallout. I like it. All right. So we mentioned this one before, but for my number 1 is definitely going to be Kingdom Hearts 2. Now, the reason why Kingdom Hearts 2 is my number 1 is because I feel like the first Kingdom Hearts had a really good story, but then the second one had better gameplay. Now, with the gameplay, obviously, you have the forms, and I think for the forms is what really did it for me. Basically, if you upgraded your forms, you got better movement, you got better abilities. It just made the game exponentially better. Now, Kingdom Hearts 2 recently came out with a mod, and I don't know if you've heard of it, Ed, but it's called Kingdom Hearts 2 Garden of Assemblage, where you basically start off in the Cavern of Remembrance. And in the Cavern of Remembrance, every single portal, instead of the data organization, has turned into the worlds, and everything's been randomized. You can even do a boss randomizer, enemy randomizer. And that's so much fun. And so many people have come back to Kingdom Hearts in 2021 now to play that mod. And it's just made the game so much better, so much more fun. But that's just the modded version of it. The Kingdom Hearts 2, so much better because it's like you said earlier, you go through the worlds first and you basically deal with the Kingdom Hearts baloney of it all, right? But then when you come back to it a second time, you're dealing with, hey, you got to go through Mulan's world. She's trying to be, whatever she's trying to be. She's trying to be in the army. You have to help her out through it. And then boom, the second time you come around, you have to basically go through Sora's stuff. And I think it flip-flops between the worlds that you go through. But that was awesome for me, especially being, a little kid back in the day. I was like, dude, this game is top notch. It did everything 10 times better than Kingdom Hearts 1 did.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember back in the day that like my first PlayStation, I was like, I remember begging my mom. I was like, can you give me this? The skinny silver one?
Oh,
with the Kingdom Hearts bundle. That's the one I ended up getting with Kingdom Hearts. I was like, I played that game every day. I love that game.
No, definitely top 10 for me. Didn't crack the 5, but it's like I said, mine are based off of really just what kind of mood I'm in. I can go back and play it right now and I'd love it. But it's definitely up there for sure.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate your time.
Hey, you too.
It was awesome podcast. Absolutely loved it.
Absolutely.
Good discussions, everything like that. Remember to follow us on Instagram. We are on the level, Player One Gaming. Y'all are awesome, gentlemen. And
absolutely.
Hey,
keep it
I'll
up.
see you boys next week.
All right. I'll catch y'all later.
Take care, y'all.
Catch you later.
See you.